Okay, we're back. Guess who's back, back, back? Stop eating my books. Thank you. Anyway, welcome back to the Creative Spark. We're back again. We're talking about another movie. And today we're talking about The Way We Were. This movie needs no introduction. This is a extremely well-known popular culture film. Stop it. You're interrupting the vibes. Stop. So The Way We Were is known as one of the greatest romantic films of all time. Um, it is constantly referenced in multiple TV shows, movies, um, and it's constantly mentioned in Gilmore Girls, which is my favorite TV show. You can't tell. And they talk about it a lot in the context of it being one of their favorite films, one of their regular movie night films. And then the thing that I kept thinking about as I was watching The Way We Were was Carrie and Big in Sex and the City. Carrie and Big are so Hubble and Katie coded, it's ridiculous. You're like, and I now just understand why, and only people who've watched Sex and the City would understand that scene where she says to Big, "Your new girl is lovely, Hubble." And he says, "I don't get it." And she goes, "You never did." And I'm like, like the parallels are wild. So let's backtrack a little bit for people who don't know what The Way We Were is. The Way We Were was made in 1973 with Robert Redford and Barbara Streisand. The icon, the legend, the queen, like the top icon of musical theatre, or one of them, in the way that she just, no one emotes like Barbara Streisand. Like, Barbara Streisand connects to music on another level. Like, she could do it all. Comedy, drama, like acting through songs. Her acting through song is a masterclass. So if you ever do any masterclasses on singing, on acting through song, most people would reference Barbara Streisand. And she's just an icon. And in this, she was just stunning. Like, stunningly good. Her outfits were superb. Her acting, like, she sings the title song, "The Way We Were," which is basically the pop song that they created for, is it a classified as a pop song? It must be. It's a ballad, "The Way We Were." Please look it up if you haven't. It's like most people would have heard it. And the way the use of music is they then use that song and turn it into the entire score for the film. So they then play snippets from that song in slowed down versions, more like they use that whole song to create the score, and that's why it is like the music is epic. Like, how do you take one song and make it the score for the entire thing? And like, I guess they do that with a lot of themes in, say, like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Jurassic Park. Like, they've got those iconic scores in them, but I feel like they have more range. Like this, they turned one pop song into like an entire range. And as I just reminded myself, it did win. It won for Best Song and Best Dramatic Score at the Oscars. Are we surprised? But basically, so this movie was made in 1973, and it set from around a 10-year period between 1937 and like post World War II. So like we're talking maybe 1947, roughly. It follows Hubble and Katie, who are kind of polar opposites. They meet in college. She is a political, like Jewish political advocate, and is the one up at the mic at all the rallies. She's really super passionate about what she believes in. And he is a WASP sort of frat boy who doesn't frat boy of the 1930s, by the way, very different to what you see now, but that kind of concept and everything he says in the movie. There's a line where he talks about how he everything always just comes so easily for him, and he can't understand, like, he doesn't understand why everything comes so easily for him because he's a straight white male in America in 1937. But so they have a few moments in college, but nothing ever really happens. They meet up maybe 4 years later, and she sort of changed herself a little bit to fit more into what society would want, but she's still very vocal about her politics. Whereas he has gone into the Navy during World War II. Um, and honestly, it's their story of trying the fact they are desperately in love with each other, but they want drastically different things from their life. Hubble wants this picture perfect world. He wants a quiet wife who just wants to be at home and attend these fun parties that he goes to and be quiet and sit in the corner, basically. And this is the thing where, like, I can't understand. Like, I loved it. I actually thought it was a beautifully tragic film. And it is, you have to watch it of the time that was made, and also the time that it's set, is that she is constantly, so Katie is constantly arguing with him when he tries to leave her multiple times, saying she'll be better. She will make herself smaller. She'll turn herself into what he wants. I can be better. I can be quieter. I can be prettier. Like, there's a bit where she literally goes, I'm not pretty enough, am I? And he goes, what do you mean? Like, and tries to say that's not true. But she's like, you know what I mean? I'm not a, she's a Jewish girl. She looks different. We all know what Barbra Streisand looks at. Classic nose, classic features. She's not a picture perfect housewife of that time period. She's not a Gentile, basically, is the word. And she says that to him directly at one point, and he goes, yeah, you're not pretty enough. Basically saying you're just not what I want my life to look like. I'm in love with you. I want you, but I want you to change to fit into what I expect out of my life, which so many women would have experienced in that time period. And I thought it was interesting in the way that it was, the time it was written and released was 1973, which would have been sort of early days. We're talking just post, is that just post Vietnam War? Or during that time period? Anyway, it's just before when, like, women were starting to have real careers, and even in 1973 you still couldn't have a bank account. Like, I think it was 1970, wait, was it 1974? I'm gonna have to look that up, of when women could have bank accounts without a signature from their husband. So, like, this was like the cusp of feminism, right? It was the cusp of women being able to, when they came into the 80s and were told that they could have it all. So I actually think it was an interesting commentary that they were making in the 70s about, a previous time period. I honestly I couldn't get over him. Like, it is the start, it is the most, like, probably iconic piece of pop culture of a man trying to make their partner smaller to fit in the box. And I'm like, why did I enjoy this film? Like, this film is beautiful. And, like, just before my dad brings this up, because my dad's having a constant argument with me, yes, I see you, about Jerry Maguire, is yes, he is probably it's probably a worse thing to try and make your partner small to fit into your life. But the difference between it is watching Jerry Maguire is he is indifferent, which just irks me so much. And it's obviously in the 90s, 80s, late 90s, early 90s, where they should just know better. Whereas this was set in the 30s, 40s, 50s. And you can't help but want to root for them to stay together. Like they're so in love with each other, but they just don't fit with what each other wants out of life. And even at the end, like he leaves her after she has their baby. What? Like it's actually just wild. The concept is wild. And even then she's trying to say, I'll be different, we'll make it work. And he just refuses to believe that. Like he just knows that that's not going to happen. But also, I think the beautiful thing about it is that he goes, I'm never going to stop wanting this out of my life, but I don't want you to change. Is the realization at the end. He's like, I don't want you to be less of who you are. I want you to be this passionate. I want you to have the life that you deserve and you want. And I can't give that to you. So I'm going to let you go. Like, it's so sad. It's such a sad film. And just so well done. You couldn't help but root for them. And then you could tell at the end of the film, they run into each other 10 years down the track. He doesn't, they have a chance encounter. He's with his new wife. She's married to someone else who's fathering their child. He's never met their daughter. And she's now back being an advocate and being all passionate. And you can tell in that moment when he sees her that she's the love of his life. She's the love of his life. And he sees her and he's so happy to see her. And she invites him for dinner and she's like, please come, come and have dinner with me and my husband. Bring your new girl, come. And he's like, they have a moment where he's like, I just can't. He's like, I can't. He's like, I can't. Because he knows he loves her so much. He's still in love with her. But he just can't reopen the door for them. And, it's just, the whole movie is just heartbreaking. But I loved it. I loved it. I will watch it again. I understand so many references now, especially in Gilmore Girls, but through so many things. That is a pop culture movie that I'm just so many things made sense after watching that film. I loved it. And I'm just oh, why did I love it? I'm just, so well done. Beautiful film, beautiful cinematography. There's some really great moments of where they fade from one scene to the other, but they play the music and the score underneath it, but they just leave the fade is really slow and really, really slow. And I'm that's an interesting use of film. Yeah. That's probably all I'm gonna say on it. Honestly, I could probably talk about it for a while. I'm still got when you watch a film like that and you're why did I enjoy that so much? It's just sad and frustrating. But I think that's the point of good cinema, right? That's good films create emotion, whether that's not always happy emotions. It's sometimes it creates discourse and creates conversation. Good films should create debate and conversation. Is something that me and one of my friends were talking about the other day. We were talking about The Materialists. If you haven't watched that video from me, I have one talking about The Materialists after I saw it. Is that we were talking about how got very different things out of that film. Both really enjoyed it, but got different things out of the movie. She's in a long-term relationship, I'm not. And so we got very different things out of it, but it opened up a very long dialogue and conversation about what things meant, what we got out of it, how does that reflect on the world? Like, that's what good art does. It creates conversation and leaves you talking about it and thinking about it. And that's why I think this movie was so good. It makes you think very deeply about things and the world, and one, like, I've been thinking about it for a week. I can't stop thinking about the way we were. And also like how it also made me have like a genuinely, my brain went down a rabbit hole thinking about how the way romantic relationships and male characters have been written, and where they change, like where the dynamics and the ideal of the man written from the female gaze changed. Because you watch The Way We Were, I watched Jerry Maguire. I mean, like, I've been watching things from everywhere from, obviously this is the 70s through to now, and yeah, it's interesting to watch how writing changes across decades. It's And this was the point, right? This was the point of watching these films and films from all different decades, is to see how cinema has changed, evolved in the writing, the cinematography, the acting. Like, this is a fascinating journey that I'm on. And The Way We Were really made me think about a lot. See, I could yap on this for a while. So I'm going to wrap this up because I don't need this to be that long. But yeah, if you loved The Way We Were or had thoughts on it, please leave a comment below. I'd love to have a conversation with other people about this. But if you like this video and you like but if you like this video, if you like movies and cinema and all things pop culture, that's what I talk about on this channel at the moment. And if you want to follow along, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notifications when I post new videos. And I'm going to see you next time on The Creative Spark. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Of the way we were, misty colored memories. I think that's all the lyrics I know.